Every June, the Pentagon publishes a document that lists every research program it wants money for. Anyone can download it. Most of its lines read like a catalog: engines, radars, software. But scattered through the pages are entries like this one. Link plumeria. No description, no explanation. Just two words that mean nothing, attached to $11.5 billion. For years, it was the fourth largest research program in the entire American military, and no one outside a locked room knew what it was. Then, a White House budget document made a connection it wasn't supposed to make, to a fighter jet that officially didn't exist. You're watching BBTV Intelligence Briefing. Today's question: why does the world's most secretive military publish its secret budget every single year? And what can you actually find in it if you know how to read it? The document is called the R-1. It comes out of the Pentagon Comptroller's office every budget season, alongside its sibling, the P-1, for procurement. Together they list, line by line, what the Department of Defense intends to buy and build. This year's research budget alone, $179 billion. Most lines are exactly what they say, and then there are the others. Link plumeria, chalk eagle. Names that sound like they were picked out of a hat, because they were. The Pentagon assigns program nicknames from approved word lists, deliberately scrambled so the name reveals nothing. The number next to the name, though, that's real. That's an appropriation Congress votes on. And Link plumeria's numbers were enormous. In the 2023 budget request, its 5-year plan totaled $11.5 billion. Only 3 programs in the entire research budget were bigger: the new nuclear missile, the Air Force's secret fighter, and the satellites that watch for nuclear launches. Whatever hid behind those 2 meaningless words was one of the biggest defense programs in America. Then, in 2025, White House budget material quietly linked the code name to the Navy's next-generation fighter, the FA-XX. The mask slipped. One line, one connection, and analysts could suddenly reconstruct years of secret spending. That's one code name. The disclosed total for American intelligence spending is published as a single line, once a year: $101.6 billion. One number, no breakdown. By law, that's all they have to tell you. Hiding money in public documents is older than the Pentagon itself. The Manhattan Project cost about $2 billion, nearly $40 billion in today's money, and Congress appropriated it without knowing what it was buying. The money was buried inside the Army Corps of Engineers' construction accounts. When a senator from Missouri named Harry Truman started pulling on the thread, he ran a committee hunting wasteful war spending. The Secretary of War personally warned him off. Truman only learned what he'd been funding after he became president. Most of Congress found out with the rest of the world when the bomb went off. After the war, the secrecy got its own legal machinery. The CIA Act of 1949 allowed the agency to spend money with no public accounting at all, its budget hidden inside other agencies' line items. One taxpayer sued, arguing the Constitution requires a public statement of all government spending. In 1974, the Supreme Court threw the case out, not because he was wrong, but because no citizen had standing to force the question. The black budget had survived its only serious constitutional challenge, and the system delivered. Through the 1980s, a fighter jet was built, flown, and crashed twice, while the Air Force flatly denied it existed. The F-117 stealth fighter flew for 7 years in total secrecy, funded through classified lines, before the Pentagon finally showed the world a photograph in 1988. The lesson Washington learned wasn't that secrecy was dangerous, it was that the machine worked. Here's the paradox at the heart of this. The Constitution forces the Pentagon to publish what it spends. So the compromise is a budget where the numbers are real and the names are designed to tell you nothing. So why publish anything at all? Because the Constitution says no money leaves the Treasury except by an appropriation made by law, and appropriations are public acts. The Pentagon cannot simply take money in secret. It has to ask Congress in writing every year. The code name system is the negotiated settlement between that rule and the demands of secrecy. Full amounts, empty names. Oversight still exists, it's just very small. The most sensitive efforts are special access programs. The circle of people cleared to know what the money actually buys can shrink to a handful of members of Congress and cleared committee staff. For the most sensitive intelligence operations, it narrows to the so-called Gang of Eight. Everyone else in Congress votes on faith, and there's a strategic logic to the code name in the open. A billion-dollar line with no name is a message to Moscow and Beijing. We are building something at scale, and you cannot know what. Analysts have spent a decade trying to match rumored aircraft, like the Air Force's suspected stealth reconnaissance drone, to lines like Chalk Eagle. The budget is a chessboard, where one side shows you the value of its pieces, but not what they are. A code name in a public budget isn't a leak or a mistake. It's a signal. The money is the message, and the silence around it is deliberate. Now, the layer almost nobody talks about. A large piece of the Air Force's budget isn't the Air Force's money at all. It's called the pass-through. Every year, tens of billions land in the Department of the Air Force's accounts and immediately flow out again. To agencies that are never named, widely understood to include the National Reconnaissance Office, the people who build and fly America's spy satellites. In the 2027 request, the pass-through hit $52.3 billion, the first time it crossed $50 billion. That's 13% of the Air Force Department's entire budget. Money it receives, cannot touch, and cannot explain. This arrangement has run for over 6 decades. The Air Force's own classified spending, $57 billion. The Space Force's classified budget is on track to nearly triple in a single year, to $17.3 billion, roughly a quarter of everything the Space Force spends. Outside analysts reverse engineer the black budget, the way astronomers find black holes, not by seeing it, but by measuring what bends around it. Subtract every explained line from the totals, and the remainder is the dark mass. Defense contractors leak its shape too. Job postings for engineers with top-secret clearances, location classified, program undisclosed, thousands of them. A hiring map of programs that officially don't exist. $52 billion a year, passing through the Air Force's books untouched. That's not an accounting quirk. That's an entire hidden agency's budget, wearing another service's uniform. The trend line points one direction: darker. Space is where the black budget is growing fastest. Classified space programs jumped again this year, and the new missile defense push will pull billions more behind the curtain. The next generation of fighters, the F-47 and the F/A-XX, both spent their formative years as code names. As competition with China intensifies, expect more of the budget to go behind names that mean nothing. Episode 7 showed what happens when secret programs fail with no one watching. Episode 9 found the construction lines at unspecified locations. This is the system all of those live inside. A democracy that funds its secrets in public, on the honor system, with fewer than a dozen people cleared to check the math. It has produced stealth fighters and spy satellites. It has also buried failures worth billions. Both facts are true, and the same two-word code names cover them equally. The documents come out every June. The names will mean nothing. The numbers will all be real. The black budget isn't hidden from you. It's published every year in plain sight. Knowing how to read it is the difference between a secret and a blind spot. This has been your BBTV Intelligence Briefing. Subscribe. The next declassification is already scheduled.